themes that we're always working with when we're on the bottom position, we're playing the guard, especially supine guard, is the idea of managing pressure from a strong top person. Now, there are a lot of ways to do this, and you probably know a lot of them. There are frames, there are posts, there's hipping out, there's heisting up, and those are all fantastic strategies, okay? Whenever we're working with someone, we feel like there's a lot of pressure. If you don't have any frames or posts in place, in other words, you're just relying on like a technique rather than a broader conceptual principle, you're gonna find that a lot of times you're slow, you're behind, you're not able to adapt that well. And being really adaptable is essential in jiu-jitsu. It's very important as you get older. It's very important if you are feeling like you are weaker than your partner. It's very important if you feel like you're injured, okay? So the idea of having a frame or post in place is like, you have to be able to do that. And I can have a really good sumigeishi, okay? I can have a really good sumigeishi here from my butterfly, or I can have a really good triangle here from my back. But if we don't have good frames and you don't have a way of managing the distance between you and your partner, and their pressure is constantly getting to you, making you tired, you're never gonna have a chance to execute or find your way into these great positions. So you'll be in the classroom or you'll be studying something from an instructional, and the technique itself makes sense. You drill it, you practice it, you work on it, but when it comes time to actually implement it, you find that you're struggling, okay? And a lot of that has to do not with the technique itself, but with the setup, with the preparation. And frames and posts are a very important part of the preparation for all of the techniques that you're going to be working from, especially from your back, from the guard. One of the core ideas for understanding how to manage pressure, like one level above just frames and posts, is the idea of the forward shift. The idea of the forward shift is, this is a concept that was taught to me really early on by my teacher, and it served me throughout the years in so many ways. When you learn how to forward shift, essentially what you're doing is you're learning how to get up out of a position where your back is on the floor into a seated position. That's not easy when someone is leaning in and putting weight over you. If your partner is sitting back here and they're playing a position where they're relatively upright, just stay here, and I'm down on my back like this, and I want to sit up, the only thing that we really have to fight here is like our own ab strength. There's nothing really in between him and me, and essentially all I'm doing is a sit-up. So, you can do a bunch of sit-ups and you'll get better at doing that. But the whole thing changes when your partner's putting weight on you, okay, when their head is over your head. Now, just being able to do a sit-up doesn't matter, because now it's like not only are you doing a sit-up with a lot of weight on you, but you're doing a sit-up with something in between you and your shoulders and your knees. That's your partner's body. All right, and that's essentially what your partner's trying to do with the body lock or these kind of chest-to-chest positions. They want to put their body in between your shoulders and your knees. Where do I want to be? I want to be like this. This is going to make me harder to pass. Where does he want me to be? As flat as I can be. So the idea of the forward shift is that we're able to sit up and create that space again so we can get our knees in a little bit tighter. If you're just hanging out here and you try to sit up, it's going to be really hard. You're trying to heist, you're moving your hips, and your partner's just stepping over your knees, right? They're body locking, they're walking up over the top, and you're getting flattened out and all of this, okay? So now on to it. Let's talk about the forward shift. When you're doing your forward shift, a few things need to happen. Number one, we're going to find our partner's elbows. The next thing is we're going to flare them out a bit so our hips are not controlled quite as much. Then we're going to extend our legs forward along the floor, and we're going to lift our partner up just a little bit. What that's going to do is it's going to make them a little bit lighter, kind of like a hovercraft. The way like a hovercraft skims the water, that's what we want for our partner's knees. So we lift a little bit, then we slide them forward and we sit up. You're going to find this is a much more effective way of sitting up than just trying to sit up right into your partner or trying to push on their head and just get up. Now, once you get to here, your job isn't done. If you just relax into a butterfly guard, guess what? Your partner's going to drive forward, flatten you out again. So for that reason, whenever we hit our forward shift, we're usually looking to put something in the way. Maybe it's a frame that looks like this, across our partner's collarbones. Maybe it's a post on our partner's far side. Maybe it's a collar tie on either side. And then we're looking to put our hand behind us and make a little bit of room. Okay, when he goes to drive forward, now it's not going to be quite as easy. We can manage this distance a little bit more effectively. Now, this is not the only way of using the forward shift. Sometimes you're going to find yourself with a partner, and as you go to flare their elbows to make your hips free, you find it's just impossible. So another good way of doing a forward shift is by starting not at your partner's elbows, but up here with a frame. So we take one of our arms, in this case, because his hand is slightly this way, we're gonna feed our hand through like this. Feeding your hand the other way is a little bit hard if your partner's chin is inside. We're gonna place our hand here just on our partner's deltoid. Now, from this position, it's not quite as strong, but we still have the ability to move our partner's head. You can put your second hand here if you like, or sometimes you can do it with just one arm. We're gonna lift slightly and extend. As he holds his position here, we have the ability to extend, and now, with our forward shift, we have our frame already in place. We can use this to back out. We have the opportunity to gain some head height, put a whizzer on, start to heist, all these good things. So we have our partner flattening us out here, preparing for body lock. Okay, even if their hands are locked here, we're gonna bring our arm through and create this frame. Then we're gonna take our second arm, we can put our elbow out, or we can put our hand here on our own hand, and we're gonna hit the forward shift. A little lift and an extension here. Out of this position, we're usually gonna put a hand behind us. Now from here, we need to put a wedge in between us. I've got this frame. Maybe we'll drop a forearm inside if we're preparing to heist. Maybe we'll put a thumb post in, look to make a little bit of room. If his hands are still locked, maybe we'll put a whizzer on, look to get up to our knees. Okay, you have a number of really, really good options. But these two versions of the forward shift, one at the elbows where you flare them and extend, the other where you create a frame across your partner's collarbones, they're not gonna stop the body lock in its tracks, okay? That's not what this is about. It's also not necessarily about preventing your partner from putting pressure. It's about managing the pressure that your partner's putting on you by extending, changing the level that you're at, and getting your back up off the floor. That's gonna make you a little bit more mobile, a little harder to pin down, and open up a lot of opportunities for you to start to attack. If you want to find out more about how to manage pressure, you can see the link down below. We have a couple of videos about that through BJJ Fanatics. And if you like this, you can click the subscribe button and the bell. It'll let you know when we have another video. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful.